Good afternoon guys, Dark Purple Shadow here, and today I'm talking about losing weight, gaming, and how they're sort of related, and not just losing weight, just getting fitter in general. And it's something that I think a lot of people can learn from, because as gamers, although culture has changed a bit, we're not really known as the most athletic people in the world. So let me tell you what's currently going on. A few days, I guess weeks ago now, my father-in-law bet me £1,000 that I couldn't lose 15 kilograms in 3 months. He said I couldn't do it. I'm gonna prove him wrong, and I'm already well on the way to do it. Right now, as of today, I weigh 114 kilograms at 5'10", which is still very, very fat. I think my BMI is around 35 or more. But at my heaviest, I was 130 kilograms, and that was around when my son was born. So it was a big weight, but I lost quite a bit of weight, about 15 kilos, and I've managed to maintain that for the most part. The truth is, however, this is nowhere near where I want to be. There was a time when I had a 32-inch waist and I wore normal clothes, and I felt very, very powerful and impressive every single day. And that time seems like a distant memory now, which I don't like. It's like having the best armor in the game and losing it because you just couldn't be bothered, or you lost focus. Now, currently, I'm going to tell you about how I actually got into that position in the first place. And it was because I trusted the process, and gaming helps you do that. When you play a lot of video games, you do really boring, repetitive tasks, but you're literally always rewarded by the end of it. So back in 2012, my first year of university, I was around 108 kilograms the summer going into university. All I did was play Skyrim when I started university, in my room locked up. I played Skyrim, I went to the gym, and I had a pretty extreme diet. And this wasn't planned anyway. I just kind of decided to eat this because I thought it was the smart thing to do based on the research I had done at the time. Fish fingers, no breading, boiled vegetables, and the highlight of my day was a piece of dark chocolate. I intentionally cut out nearly all carbs because they made me overeat, so I ended up losing a ton of weight. I basically got to 82 kilograms within a few months of starting my diet. So end of 2012, I had already changed my life, and this affected me in multiple ways. I can go into that another time, but for now, let's fast forward on what I'm doing now. Right now, I'm reminiscing of my old kind of gains that I made. Gains in terms of fat loss. I didn't actually get that heavy. But now I'm doing something called Rapid Fat Loss Program by Lau McDonald. It is very simple. You eat protein and you eat nothing else, and you have very limited calories, and you have a massive caloric deficit. And to be honest, currently I'm not even hungry because this diet is pretty well designed at keeping you full and focused and very grounded, and it feels quite good. And where gaming comes into this is the fact that you can use video games as a way of distracting you from those incessant cravings that you have, and they will subside eventually. But if you kind of, when you have a craving, decide to play some RuneScape or League of Legends and get tilted instead, or go and play some Call of Duty or some Counter-Strike, or do whatever, and just make sure your mind is elsewhere other than thinking about, I don't know, a cinnamon bun, then you'll be in a much better position. So gaming as a tool can be used and utilized. Now, I'm not sitting here and telling you that's the healthiest thing in the world to do, but let me tell you it like this. Obviously, you can do some cardiovascular activity, you can run, walk, whatever. You'll burn maybe 500 calories an hour if you're good. The reality is most of you won't even do that unless you're quite athletic. But when it comes to gaming, if you avoid a craving that will cost you 500 calories and spend 20-30 minutes playing a game, essentially playing that video game has prevented a loss that is far more substantial than any gains you would have made playing, doing cardio or maybe even playing sports. I'm not saying it's a replacement for those things, but it's quite a useful tool to do, especially when you can't leave the house or you have other responsibilities, such as currently I have a son who was born about a year and a half ago, and when he was born I was even heavier than I am now. I was 130 kilograms, and right now, as of today, I'm 115 kilograms, 5'10", which is very obese, and I'm really trying to focus on keeping up with the challenge my father-in-law has set me. He's basically said I can't lose 15 kilograms in 3 months. Joke's on him, because 2 weeks into this challenge I'm already 6 kilograms down nearly. So losing 15 kilograms is like getting a skill cape in RuneScape. It's a very lovely achievement, but it takes time, dedication, and fortitude to get there. And that doesn't happen by rushing or by being lazy. It happens by consistent, boring, menial stuff, which is stuff like steaming vegetables, steaming chicken, eating it, even if you don't want to. And a lot of times, these meals that I'm having on this diet, they're not fun by any means. I'm not looking forward to eating chicken and vegetables, but it fuels me and it prevents me from finding out and seeking other sources of food. And actually, the motivation and willpower you gain from just doing these little things, it's like a pat on your back every time you do it. And slowly I've realized that the decision fatigue from constantly saying no actually dwindles, because you know clearly what is allowed and what isn't. And actually sometimes the more stricter, more aggressive diets for somebody like me and my demeanor and my personality work better. Essentially, as a gamer, you're willing to put in the work, and therefore you should be willing to do that in your personal life as well. Now, one area I've always struggled with is I can do these diets, I know that for a fact, but one thing that will be new is I'm planning something called a diet break as soon as my goal of getting down to 100 kilos is achieved, which will happen. And that diet break involves 2 to 4 weeks at maintenance calories to stay at my new weight. It's not about binge eating or looking forward to a cheat day. It's about learning to eat like a functional human being and not swinging between strict fasting diets, which I'm on right now, and then years of not caring and reversing the months of work you've done and then being back at square one. I've sort of managed to do this already in the last year and a bit, but I want to amp it up and I want to really focus things. Right now I'm in a position in my life where I've done a lot of the major hard things I wanted to do, such as buying a house, such as having a stable job. Touch wood, I hope that remains consistent. So I want to really focus this summer on just dialing in my diet and continuing this all the way till the end of this year and seeing where it can take me, because at the moment probably the worst thing about my life is my obesity, which is probably a good thing to say because it's something very much in my control. I've realized that certain strategies and metas, such as eating the regular diet, do not work for me. My appetite is just too high, and my personal proclivity to overeat processed, normal quote-unquote foods is too high to the point where I'd rather leave these in heavy moderation. I can't have these every single day. You know when people say, oh, just have a cookie at the end of the day to treat yourself on a diet and stay within your 2,000 calorie limit? I think that is worse to me than not having that cookie at all and just saving the calories. Now, when it comes to gaming on a day-to-day, you can theory craft, you can grind, you can adapt. These are things and skills that you've gathered from gaming. If you're a player who plays League of Legends, you know exactly how every champion works. You have a vast amount of skill and understanding of stuff like that. So why don't you learn about the foods that help you maintain a caloric deficit? Why don't you learn about the grinding that comes from RuneScape? Why don't you apply that to eating the same thing day in, day out? Obviously with some variety for micronutrients, but eating the same few meals in a set order, completing those daily tasks. And when it comes to adaptation, the quick on-the-fly thinking, when a lot of video games require, stuff like that is quite useful for picking equipment in the gym to do, for focusing issues such as somebody telling you it's their birthday next week, they want you to go out on a meal. You can try and figure out a solution to that, whether that means you go out and meet them at the cafe and have a green tea and tell them the situation you're in. So it's really about being confident in your own goals and prioritizing them above every other thing. Now, if anybody has any similar experiences when it comes to gaming, when it comes to how gaming has helped shape their fitness life, please tell me, because I have so many stories. My entire life feels like a game, and playing it has been hard, but it has been rewarding. And I want to get to a new pinnacle of achievement. I want the real life gangster dieting, losing fat skill cape, and I want to display it in my wall, because I want to make sure wherever I walk around I look like a maxed high level character who's jacked and lean. I don't want to be fat and weak, because essentially that is the biggest indictment of my own knowledge. If you know what to do, just go and do it. And I know you guys as gamers are smart, so make sure you do that. So if you enjoyed this, please comment down below, tell me what's going on in your life and how gaming's helped do it. If you want a fitness journey, or if you want some advice, or if you want to talk about it, feel free to talk to me. Obviously, anything that you do, make sure that you're aware of what you're getting into. Don't just copy me for the sake of it. What I'm doing, I actually do have qualifications in science, and I I actually studied a master's, and studying obesity was part of it, so I do understand the ins and outs of how things work. But yeah, feel free. Thank you. Peace.